Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. Now, this video I am doing another top 10 by country, okay, and this time we are looking at the top 10 Scottish born boxers of all time in my all-time rankings. As you'll notice from my last top 10 video, I've flipped it to 2026. So, I don't imagine I'll do any of the other countries' top 10s this year. It'll be a few years in between if I ever redo them. So, let us go to the first one of 2026. I've still got a number of countries to do before I'm quite content that the playlist will be large enough. But let's go through the top 10 Scottish, beginning at number 10, and that fighter is Elkie Clark. Now, Elkie Clark beat no world champions, okay, he scored no wins against champions, he beat no Hall of Fame fighters, and he scored no wins against Hall of Famers. Elkie Clark also scored no title fight wins, no title defences, and no title fight KOs. Shout out to Drunk Irishman in the chat. He did score those 20 knockouts, okay, he was pound for pound rated for 0 years, and pound for pound number 1 for 0 years, and he scored no wins against pound for pound fighters, and scored no wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. And Elkie Clark captured no world titles, no lineal titles, or no undisputed titles. So a very quick slide, not a very big slide there for Elkie Clark in 10th place. When we go to 9th place, okay, we go to a fighter called Johnny Hill. Johnny Hill is one of those fighters most people have never heard of, okay? He beat one world champion. He scored 2 wins against champions, and Johnny Hill did beat one Hall of Fame fighter individually, and he scored 1 win against Hall of Famers in his career. Now, Johnny Hill scored no title fight wins, he made no title defences, and he scored 0 title fight knockouts. Johnny Hill did score 10 knockouts himself in his career. He was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, nor was he ever pound for pound number 1. He also scored no wins against pound for pound fighters and no wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. So Johnny Hill also captured no world titles, no lineal titles, or no undisputed titles. So there's 10 and 9 done. When we jump on to 8th place, it is a fighter called Tansy Lee. Okay, Tansy Lee beat one world champion. He scored 1 win against champions in his career, and Tansy Lee beat one Hall of Fame fighter, a la Johnny Hill, and he also scored the same 1 win against Hall of Famers in his career. Tansy Lee scored no title fight wins, he made no title defences, and he scored 0 title fight KOs. I was thinking at stats on another video then, and by pure habit was going to the next one. So Tansy Lee scored 28 knockouts. Yeah, big shout out to Martin as well in the chat, good to see you. Tansy Lee scored 28 knockouts, okay, he was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, thus he was never pound for pound number 1 rated. He did score 1 win against a pound for pound rated fighter, but 0 wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. And Tansy Lee also, like Elkie Clark and Johnny Hill, scored no titles, no lineal titles, and no undisputed titles. So there's 10 to 8 done. Just another quick announcement. I'm working at the moment on my new stat matchup videos. I've decided that as well as my monthly modern fighter video that I'll do and the career videos, I wanted another kind of video. Now I've done the top 10 greatest fighters by division and done some other things. I don't have the 50 greatest boxers at modern era to do until end of year. So I'm going to bring the stat matchups back, but the redone, new slides, new setup, new stats on there. So yeah, they'll be coming soon. I'll do first one of those soon. So anyway, meanwhile, let us crack on with the top 10 Scottish born boxers of all time. Next up is Tommy Milligan. Tommy Milligan beat 2 world champions. He scored 3 wins against champions. And Tommy Milligan beat 2 Hall of Fame fighters, scoring 3 wins against Hall of Famers in his career. Now, Tommy Milligan also scored no title fight wins, made no title defences, and scored no title fight KOs. Milligan did score 22 knockouts himself. He was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, thus was never pound for pound number 1 rated. And Tommy Milligan did score 3 wins against pound for pound rated fighters, and he scored 3 wins against pound for pound number 1 rated fighters. So Tommy Milligan, okay, captured no world titles, no lineal titles, and no undisputed titles. So on to 6th place. Now in 6th place, okay, is a fighter. During his time, they were debating whether he would be the new Jimmy Wild. Obviously, it didn't quite work out that way. Walter McGowan, okay, Walter McGowan, fast and furious little battler he was. He beat one world champion, okay, he scored 1 win against champions. McGowan beat no Hall of Fame fighters, and he scored 0 wins against Hall of Famers in his career. Walter McGowan scored 1 title fight win. He made no title defences and scored 0 title fight KOs. And Walter McGowan scored a knockout total himself of 14 knockouts for his career. He was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, nor was he ever pound for pound number 1 rated. Walter McGowan also scored no wins against pound for pound rated fighters, and no wins against pound for pound number 1 rated fighters. Walter McGowan captured 1 title, and he also held 1 lineal title with no undisputed titles. So into the top 5 we go, and at 5th place, okay, is Jim Watt, okay, the famous commentator who was also a world champion in his own right, eventually of course losing his title to the great Alexis Arguello. So Jim Watt, okay, beat 2 world champions. He scored 2 wins against champions, and Jim Watt beat no Hall of Fame fighters. He scored no wins against Hall of Famers, but he did score 5 title fight wins. Jim Watt also made 4 title defences, and he scored 4 title fight KOs. Now Jim Watt scored a total of 27 knockouts in his career. He was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, nor was he ever pound for pound number 1 rated, and likewise Jim Watt scored no wins against pound for pound fighters and no wins against pound for pound number 1 rated fighters. Jim Watt of course captured 1 world title that he would later lose to Arguello. He held no lineal titles and no undisputed titles, but was a world champion in his own right. So from Jim Watt in 5th place we go to 4th place, and this fighter is Scott Harrison. Okay, he's a name you never really hear mentioned among Scottish fighters, but amongst the Scots he scored quite well in my new all-time rankings. Scott Harrison beat 6 world champions, obviously alphabet era fighter. He scored 6 wins against champions, and he beat no Hall of Fame fighters, also scoring no wins against Hall of Famers. Scott Harrison though did score 8 title fight wins in his career, and he also made 7 title defences of the titles he won. He also scored 5 title fight KOs. Scott Harrison himself scored a total of 15 knockouts. He was never pound for pound rated in my all-time rankings, nor was Scott Harrison ever pound for pound number 1 rated, but he did score 2 wins against former pound for pound rated fighters, but 0 wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. And Scott Harrison in total captured 2 world titles. He never captured a lineal title nor an undisputed title. So on we go, okay, as what's his name? Hugh Grant said in Heretic, the big 3. So in 3rd place, okay, is the excellent former flyweight champion, a multi-year lineal champion, Jackie Patterson. Jackie Patterson, okay, beat 2 world champions. He scored 2 wins against champions, and Patterson beat no Hall of Fame fighters. He also scored no wins against Hall of Famers. Patterson scored 2 title fight wins in his career. He made 1 title defence and scored 1 title fight KO. Now Jackie Patterson scored a career total himself of 40 knockouts. He was pound for pound rated for 0 years, and he was also pound for pound number 1 rated for 0 years. Jackie Patterson did score 1 win against a pound for pound fighter and 0 wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. And Jackie Patterson captured 1 world title, 1 lineal title and 0 undisputed titles. Another Scottish fighter who I've been looking to get into my retired database for some time, I didn't in years before now because he fought on quite a long time, and that is Ricky Burns. Okay, so I am looking now to get Ricky Burns scored into my all-time rankings properly, to see where he places. Yes, he doesn't have the greatest resume in the world, did score some good wins, but he also was a multi-weight champion from Scotland, so I'm curious where Ricky Burns will slot into the greatest Scottish fighters, but of course I won't know that until he's fully scored in to the new rankings, and added added to my retired database. So there is Jackie Patterson in third place. Okay, so when we go to second place, okay, it is the wild Benny Lynch. He had a bit of a wild lifestyle in some ways, Benny Lynch, but he was an excellent flyweight as well. Benny Lynch beat 3 world champions. He scored 3 wins against champions. Lynch beat no Hall of Fame fighters and also scored no wins against Hall of Famers. Benny Lynch scored 4 title fight wins in total. He made 3 title defences, and Benny Lynch scored 3 title fight knockouts. Now, Benny Lynch scored 34 career knockouts. He was pound for pound rated for 1 year in my all-time rankings, but he was never pound for pound number 1 rated. And Benny Lynch scored 1 win against pound for pound fighters, but 0 wins against pound for pound number 1 fighters. And Benny Lynch captured 1 world title, 1 lineal title, and 0 undisputed titles. So, on the top 10 Scottish-born boxers of all time, of course, barring any retirees who are yet to be added to my database, which is another good reason why every few years I may update 1 or 2, because as new fighters are added into the database, you know, as I do every year. I've been doing that every year for years. New fighters are always added in. More Scottish fighters like Ricky Burns will be added in, so it changes it up. So a few years down the line I can redo it. But yeah, we've gone from 10 to number 2. So at the moment, okay, I'll say for 2026, in my new all-time rankings, the greatest Scottish-born boxer of all time is actually the guy who said every time he goes to the toilet, the pain reminded him of Roberto Duran. Okay, that fighter is Ken Buchanan. Now, Ken Buchanan, okay, was an excellent fighter. He had a decent to good resume. Ken Buchanan, okay, beat 4 world champions. He scored 5 wins against champions. And Ken Buchanan beat 2 Hall of Fame fighters. He also scored 3 wins against Hall of Famers in his career. And Buchanan scored 3 title fight wins, making 2 title defences, and he scored 0 title fight KOs. Now, Ken Buchanan, okay, scored 27 knockouts. He was pound for pound rated for 2 years in my all-time rankings, but he was never pound for pound number 1 rated. And Ken Buchanan scored 4 wins against pound for pound fighters overall, and he scored 0 wins against pound for pound number 1 rated fighters. Now, Ken Buchanan, okay, captured 2 world titles, 1 lineal title, and 1 undisputed title. So Ken Buchanan tops the top 10 Scots. Now, I've done the English, okay, I've done the Scottish, have I done the Wales? I don't think I have. I haven't done the Irish, okay. I still need to do Canada, Argentina, certain other countries, okay, which I will do. Have I done Japan? I don't even know if I've done Japan yet. But, you know, all these countries will be coming, and then every now and then I'll mix in a regional one. So North American, European, African, South American, Pacific Asian. So I'll also mix in regional ones that mix the countries up and denote it by continent, okay, but I'll mix them in when I see fit. For now, I will keep doing some top 10s. I will look to add the first regional one in, though, in next few months, just to keep the playlist growing. And in the meantime, I'll be powering away with career videos and finalising tonight. I should be finalised with my breakdown for the new stat matchup videos that are a little bit more, you know, nicely laid out, I think, in some ways than my old ones. But, you know, the proof is in the pudding. But I am looking to start a new career matchup playlist, stat matchup playlist, you know, and first of those will come over next week. So, there's my top 10 Scottish-born boxers of all time. Drunk Irishman, Martin Dunstan in chat. Big shout out, yeah, I'm away and cooking. 2026 is going to be a big year. I have to get filling them playlists up, and I've already started, and it's going to continue. So there will be the monthly modern greatest fighter videos coming updated every month, although they won't change that often. Might need 6-7 months before you see any significant change, due to how little to fight nowadays. And of course, at end of year, there will be that new revised top 50 greatest boxers at modern era with that date I've fixed. So only fighters who turn pro on or after that date will be classified. So some fighters shown on my last one will drop out. Other new fighters who turn pro after that date will come in, and I will stick with that date. Okay, that's what I've defined, because I realised before some fighters sneaked in, I thought, well, should they really be in modern era? But, you know, I'm not unveiling what the date is, but you'll see on the updated top 50 at end of year that there's going to be a lot of significant changes in that. Big shout out to Random. Yeah, I hope you're well, Random. Hope you're cooking along. I will admit, mate, honestly, I do miss having StreamYard, so I can get you on and chat. I do miss that. It'd be great to, I am thinking maybe about jumping back on StreamYard so I can get you on for a chat or two, if you're up for that. I'm debating that now. It's just kind of be bothered with monthly fees and all this nonsense. So yeah, but I do miss that sometimes. Sometimes, like on a weekend, if I'm not at work, I'll just think, God, wife's settled upstairs, and I'm like, God, I'd love to jump on with random and chop up some boxing talk. So yeah, I miss those chats. So anyway, there we are. There's my top 10 Scottish born boxers of all time. I'll be back soon. That would be great. Yeah, it would be great, buddy. It would be great. From, I'll say uploaders, people like Andre and Martin, Bruce Gas, all other people who follow my channel. Okay, I have a massive amount of respect for. Some people have followed me on here years, and I've nothing but appreciation for them for that, and I love interacting with everyone. I do miss those chats though, and I know that some guys who follow my channel like mine will probably miss them chats as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to look at that. I'm definitely going to look at that, buddy. But I will keep you updated on that for now. I'm going to jump off, get working on finalising the layout of my new stat matchup video, and then I'm going to be stat matching up all kinds of fighters. When I do them, they're going to be very quick to do and get ready. I'll just add them as I see fit. I'll create a new playlist, and then my channel's kind of set up for a year, so I can power plenty of career videos out and have that other side content around it. So that is me for now. I'm the Boxing Librarian. Big shout out to everyone. Please be well, be safe. I'm out for now.